having very similar encounters and experiences to people in other faiths, of people who have never even experienced our faith. I've got some people in the audience now who are signed up through Patreon. They're part of the School of the Mystics on Thursday nights, and they've never read the scriptures. But everything that I'm talking about, it's like the other way around. Like, they're referencing other books and other works as I speak or as I share Bible knowledge or whatever the case is. They already know what I'm talking about. It's stuff that's written within their hearts. It's written upon their hearts, right? And so it's within them. It's the same encounters, the same experiences, which is really cool. That's what it's about for me. Like, he's talking about having this awakening. A big part of my awakening and moving to these, greater levels of understanding and came when I started, instead of looking at others and finding what makes us different, finding the things that separate us, I did the opposite. I said, well, let me try studying this stuff, or even talking to people in conversation. I would do this in conversation, man. People will bring up anything religious. My mind is going, how can I debunk them and show you that my religion is right? Honestly, that's what we were taught in religion. But now in these conversations, I'm trying to build. I'm like, okay, I believe the same thing. We word it differently. I've worded it differently. It's a different perspective on the same type of concept. And that's what it's about for me. We call it comparative theology, syncretism, how we're all saying the same thing. And now, instead of like trying to tear people down, I look for the good in it. I mean, we could just use like Joel Osteen. I mean, he's an enemy of most of like heresy hunters, the Christian heresy hunters. Like, they're like, Joel Osteen's a false prophet. He's preaching deception and things like that. And I used to look at him that way because of the people I was involved with in many sects of Christianity. In many sects, not just one denomination or whatever. But I would listen to it, and I couldn't take in anything he said because of whatever the case was. Hearing, having preconceived notions about him. But then now I'm able to listen to him. It's like, listen, that man's talking some good stuff. He's got some wisdom. Some wisdom. Something he's saying is good, right? He's a false prophet, man. He's deceiving people. What's up, Patrick? All it is. What up, boy? Patrick says, I can't stand him. Sorry. Talking about Joel Osteen. Looking at people and finding what we don't like about them, or what we can't stand about them. Like, we move to just a deeper revelation, or just to see what we can stand about them. Because, I mean, people, I think people say that about me, you know what I'm saying? Or about anybody. Like, there's people who tune into this podcast and they see the little all-seeing eye on my hat, and they love the wisdom. They love the information that comes through, but they just see something, or they see a symbol in the background, or a video game, or whatever, and they just see something that they don't like, or that they can't stand. Most people can't stand an eyeball because it represents the devil to them in their understanding. Whatever the case is. So, yeah, we talk about triggers, man. People get triggered. People have stuff that they can't understand, and I couldn't stand him for the longest time too. Not just Joel Osteen, but just, I'm telling you, man, being able to transcend and see everyone as an extension of yourself. I think that in spirituality we'll all eventually do that, but to really see what we can agree with the people and build upon that. The scriptures say, can two walk together unless they agree? And people use that to say, okay, we don't agree. You believe this, I believe that. We can't walk together. Bye. And they're done. They cut you off. But I read that, can two walk together lest they agree? Let's find something that we can agree on and walk together. Right? Great minds think alike in the comment section says, everyone has some truth, even if our minds are blocked to it. Yep, everybody has something. I know what I was going to say, Patrick. Here was the point. When it comes to Joel Osteen, we used to call him a false prophet. Now people call me false prophet. So, yeah, whatever. he wasn't the only ones we called a false prophet. Anybody, put it this way, anybody who taught stuff contrary to what we believed were false prophets. And I'm speaking about this in past tense, but there's a lot of people still there now. You teach the Bible a certain type of way. You teach religion, philosophy, politics. You're a false prophet. You're a heretic, these type of things. Anybody who taught it differently. And I used to get mad at like Joel Osteen. I used to get mad at Creflo Dollar or some of these people, Benny Hinn or whatever. But the scripture says, this is the deep part. The scripture says that the people having itching ears will find for themselves teachers that tell them what they want to hear. So it's not that like Benny Hinn or Creflo Dollar or Joel Osteen has all this power that they're able to deceive the masses because they're wicked people. No, these people are just presenting a message, and the audience are paying them money, are supporting them, sharing their content, going to their rallies or sermons or whatever, because they're telling them what they want to hear. So the scripture says that the people having itching ears will find for themselves teachers that tell them what they want to hear. Now that works with everything. The scripture also says that where your treasure is, your heart will be also. If you believe in something, you're going to support it with your time. You're going to watch it. I mean, many people listening to this podcast, you find something of substance here. There's people who financially support the work I do. Your time, your money, your energy, your effort, your, occupying it with your mind and letting it into your thought life. There's stuff that you're entertaining because you bear witness with it and people will support it. So if you're looking at Creflo Dollar, if you're looking at some of these prosperity pimps, as you want to call them that, or quite the contrary, any other religion or something that you don't agree with, like those people are listening to these guys for a reason. So I don't think it's much of the teacher is the deceiver. I think that he has a message, and the people bear witness with it. I mean, that's what they want to hear. You know what I'm saying? They want to know how they can be rich. They want to know how they can get to heaven. You know what I'm saying? Whatever the case is, man, people will find for themselves teachers telling them what they want to hear. But like, it's not a deception thing. It's just part of nature. Like most people wouldn't be listening to this if they didn't bear witness with something, unless they're just like chastising it and picking it apart and stuff. Or I hate when he does that, that kind of stuff. I mean, I know there's those people listening too. And it's okay to agree with some of it. And then I wish I can interject. That's the funniest part when I talk to people and they say, man, there's so many times you'll say something and I guess we'll respond and I want to interject, and they're even talking to their phone or whatever the case is, it's so funny. But hey, I've been there too. So yeah, Patrick, all it is, he says, I found you. That's it. You'll find the people that you resonate with. You'll find your tribe. You'll find the others, right? And if you're someone who is into mainstream religion and cookie cutter church, you're going to find that. And that's for you. And that's good. That's not I don't think that's a bad thing. You know what I'm saying? Obviously, there's some bad stuff that I would disagree with. You know what I'm saying? But I think as a whole, I don't think these people are wicked as a whole. I think that they have a lot of them have a just notion about themselves, and their intentions are pure. And I think that's what it comes down to at the end of the day. Ruach says, get in where you fit in. That's right. If you enjoyed listening to this podcast segment, be sure to listen to the entire episode by clicking the video to your right. Also, we are on iTunes. You can download the MP3 versions as well. Be sure to subscribe for future episodes.